So I've been wanting to do a video of just kind of like the morning routine, I guess. What I do first thing in the morning is I'll get my chicken bucket full of, so this is currently filled with sprouted rye. It's like a winter rye, barley, and hard red wheat, which I gotta get out of these jars. Over here, if you can see, it's kind of dark in here. See all my sprouters though. These are the starting to soak. Let's get a light on. Here we go. A little easier. They're starting to soak. So that's the red wheat, hard red wheat, and it starts to look like that or that, depending on if I do. So that's right. That right there is 2 cups of hard red wheat that's soaking. And so it'll probably end up looking like this. Whereas if I do 1 cup, it gives it more room, and then it starts to get that grassy, that wheatgrass going on. And in the wintertime, when they're not getting a lot of grass, I think that helps. And then down here I have, because I keep it a little bit separated, but here's some more, that's some more wheat, looks like. The rye and the barley is harder for me to get, so I do it in lesser quantities. But this is the rye. Let's get that up in the light. I do it in a bigger jar though. Probably can't even really tell, but that's rye. My glove would get out of the way. And it hasn't really started to sprout yet. I must have just started that, but. So I take all of that and I mix it in to a bucket, and then on top of that, well, I'll put in, different herbs like I've got. And these are all homegrown herbs. There's store-bought spices and things in here, don't get me wrong, like the garlic. This is for their garlic is really good for, health benefits. It's antiviral and things like that. It's really good for them. But there's like some dried carrot greens from the garden. This is, that's about empty, but that was all sweet basil, a little bit of rosemary. I've got, bags and bags of that stuff. I actually turned out and decided, hey, why don't I make some tea, I'll probably put those on the cart and try to sell that stuff, but down here we go. And then, but yeah, see, like I got bags and bags and bags of basil and sage. And if that, maybe I give them some squash or something in there for lunch or something if they're hungry, but or maybe I eat it. It depends. I share it with them. Maybe they get the seeds, you know what I mean, when you're scooping out the seeds. I save my own seeds, but I don't need all of that, so I'll end up giving them some of those seeds. A little snack for them. It's kind of like, I don't know, like pumpkin seeds, but acorn squash seeds. They love it. They'll eat it. And it's just kind of something fun for, a little different for them for their diet. So take the bucket, and we try not to fall on the ice. Look around and make sure there aren't any vicious killer deer. The bunny rabbits literally come right up to the house. I don't know what they're looking for. Maybe they're just on their way through. Bunny rabbit tracks. He wants his breakfast, he's telling me. That Ernie. So we go past the greenhouse, we go past the tire swing, we go past the wood pile. I'm gonna go, this is my newest little project that I did because I had 2 boys There's one of them that grew up together, and I thought, hey, these guys can stay in the same pen because they grew up together. And they did start to, I thought they were play fighting, but at some point it went from play fighting to, it got a little too serious, and so I had to separate them. And I real quick whipped this together. Now this is something I've heard and seen and wanted to do about 100 million times, and I've made a few prototypes, and this one's pretty good, of the Chickshaw or the chicken tractor. The Justin Rhodes, I think, made it pretty common, pretty popular, but I like this. This is something that anybody could do, I think, where I just, real little, and you want it to be small. I tried making them bigger because I wanted to have like 30 birds in there, but it gets heavy. It's hard to move around, and I guess you're supposed to put big old tires under it, but the problem with putting big old tires under it is we have raccoons like you would not believe. I think one year I trapped like a dozen of them, maybe more. We have way too many raccoons out here. And they would get underneath where that tire's sitting, where those tires are sitting, and it's propped up off the ground. And a raccoon would get, just grab a chicken and kill it, and I am not running that risk. So this is solid all the way to the floor. It does have, I shouldn't say that because that doesn't sound right. It has that chicken wire floor, so that way when I move this, all their droppings will fall to the ground. Hi, girl. Say hello. Say hi. Oh, and there's Red Boy. There's the brother that, I had to move him out of there. Give him his own space. It went from play fight to I'm gonna kill you, and I'm like, oh, oops. That's how it usually starts. It started out playful enough, and then it escalated. Here he comes out. He says, where's my breakfast? Looks like you have a lot still on the ground, buddy. Say hi. Say hi. Say bye from us and feed me. That bright red color, my goodness. It's a pretty white girl. Got some white and gray on her and a pretty yellow one. You hungry? But this was a neat idea of just like take some like if you got like some wood, if you a little bit of carpentry skills, just these wood panels, make these panels and then put this is fruit tree or bush or whatever, but it's the deer netting. Pretty rugged deer netting. And you can just kind of wire it on there. Or you could use chicken wire, but the point is that these frames, and then you wire don't nail them. That way it's got like an elbow that it can bend. And then that makes this lightweight and portable, and you can move it around, and it can shape. If I wanted to say maybe I wanted to put it around, I didn't, but maybe I could have swung it out a little bit and incorporated it around maybe my elderberry, and that way they could scratch around it and manure it and pull up the weeds for me. Like, what are you doing? Aren't you just giving us our breakfast? I'm making a vlog. Is that what they're called? A vlog? A video log? A journal? I only got the 3 back here, but they seem to stay warm enough. Ready for their breakfast. You ready for your breakfast? You guys have a lot of breakfast out here still, so I guess I don't need to give you guys that much. Hi, Petunia. It smells amazing. You guys want that? Now, if you wanted to, the other thing about this is it's not hard to just take a wood frame and then you can add to this. Like if I wanted to make it bigger, just make another panel in the garage, in the shop, whatever you got, and make another panel and then add it on the end. And then that would make it bigger, and you could just keep doing that. Or you could take a panel off if you wanted to make it smaller, but there they go. They say breakfast! If I make it too big, then it makes it clunky and hard to move around, which I want to be able to move this around. Like once they've pecked an area clean, and I want to get them some fresh forage, then I can move it. That's why you want it maybe a little bit smaller and lightweight, and just prop it up at the corners. There's this big heavy stump I had, or that post didn't do enough, so I put a big heavy stump there. But if you shape it just right and you know where your winds are coming from, you get your stake and stake it down and everything. I'm surprised they haven't flown out that gap on the back there, but I don't think they want to. They like it in here. They got their friends. They got their food. He says, "This is mine. It's all mine. This is my castle. Castle Red Dew." You got feather just hanging off your neck there, bud. It's all right. Their breakfast. The rest of them want their breakfast. I hear that duck telling me. She says, "What are you doing? Bring me my breakfast." Yep. Swing the gate out. Oh, girls. Girls. They're already horsing around. See, that's why I was like, I think they're just play fighting, but the boys, I mean. But yeah, oftentimes it does. It goes from being just playful to something else. This is a raised bed, but here's the thing. I have deer that come out here, and there's the deer tracks right next to it. They smell the strawberries. They'll eat them down to nothing. So again, good to have some carpentry skills and make these cages. I have several of them out here. There's another chicken tractor. It's empty at the moment. That's where I'm going to put my pullets that we hatch out in the spring. Deer track. So I've got an empty that's waiting for him. That's another chicken tractor I did, but that one is larger. It's mobile, but you don't move very far very fast. It doesn't need to, because it's bigger and clunkier, and that's why I was like, well, I'll make that one smaller and lighter, and then it can help me if I move it around the garden. They can help get the weeds up for me, and they can eat all of that and get a lot of nutrition from the weeds. It would normally go to waste. Well, the chickens will eat it, and that's good forage for them, and they'll manure the garden at the same time. Trying to get the, oh, hang on. This is meant to be done with two hands. There we go. Woo, look out. Look out, baby. Look out. Woo, look out. Prop this open. That's just got like a little screw, a glue if you can see it, and then it gets on that cattle panel. There. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer today. I'm gonna move the, oh, there they are. I said, you don't need to dump that out. We'll just, baby, say hi. Like she wants to go swimming. Ernie? Hi, Ernie. Hi, girls. You want your breakfast? Come here. Come here. Oh, that. My breakfast? Macho does. It doesn't start in until I get close. Again, should have two hands. There you go. Apologies. Two hands. Oh, you are dinner now. There she goes. She says, no, I'm not. Breaded chicken. You like my corny jokes? Yeah. Hi, quackers. Getting some breakfast. I'll have to come back out and get water. We got her a little pool, the duck. I mean, here I go segueing. Hello, cheese and quackers. We put a little pool over here. It's all frozen over, but we sunk it. We dug a hole and sunk a little bed liner, little kiddie pool. She wants attention. Hi, baby. Come here. Oh, come here. Oh, come here. Come here, baby. Gotcha. Come here. One-handed. Okay. Goodness me. Good bear. You come here. You stop that. Again, all the things I should be using two hands for, but I don't have to. You'll have to. I apologize, baby. I should have two hands for that, shouldn't I? It's a lot easier. Hi, little baby. He's like, you know what? Yeah, her duck pool. And then the other thing you got to have if you've got chickens in the wintertime, they still need to be able to bathe their dust bath. Is what they do. I mean, they have to replenish the oils on their feathers. They have, I think it's called a sebaceous gland. It's on their tail. And they have to replenish their oils. And so the way that they strip their oils is by bathing in sand and wood ash and stuff like that. So I've got a little sandbox here, but you got to keep the snow off it. So I put it under this lean-to. If you've ever wondered how you do that, this is a way to do it. I'm not saying it's the way to do it, but if you've got your sandbox and a lean-to made out of some scrap, this was some tongue and groove. See the little tongue groove going on here. Just slap it all together, and then that keeps the sand dry. And then I've got, now this will help prop it. When I swing this open, got my latch here, my latch there, drop it down, and oh, there's an egg. I usually have one. There we go. And that holds it. There's my egg. First thing in the morning. One of them lays first thing in the morning. I'll probably get a couple more today. That tells me it's going to be a good day. We'll get a few more. Wrong time of year and we're still getting eggs. I'm sorry I was rude to you, quackers. I didn't mean to. Now I go get Macho. That's Ernie. Showed you Red Boy. Show you Duckers. There's a little, these are sapphire eggers. I wonder if they'll let me. She's a good example. I can see her. Come here, baby. Right there. On her cheek, on her earlobe. That blue-green, if I can get the camera to focus, that blue-green, that tells me that her eggs are going to be a blue color. Or a blue-green color. Go, baby. In case you didn't know that. If it's a solid red, most of you have seen those solid red, but if that's a blue color, blue-green color, it's going to give you a colored egg. And then if you see a duck, see, I'm walking behind her, so she just thinks I'm chasing her. So she just keeps running away. It's cute. She's a little cutie. Macho's like, what in the world is taking you so long? a little tunnel that they can crawl in, crawl under and crawl in, horse around. A lot of times they just roost up on top of it, kind of like, stump, roost up on top of it. I got those fire rings. It's actually like a compost bin. When the garden is in full swing and we're getting a lot of compostables, I'll throw it in there. They can dig around in there and eat, if there's, I don't know, maybe stuff that I think is a little bit grody, but they'll still eat it. Or it composts and breaks down and attracts worms and beetles and grubs and things, and they'll scratch around in there and eat the beetles and the grubs and stuff. So I thought, hey, why not have a little composter bin in here for that? We call this our tractor supply run because it's got a tractor supply coop. And one of these, I think this was actually like a Home Depot tunnel that we put together. Stuff that locks and snaps together. That bent piping and stuff. But here. Oh, look at that dirty coop. Look at that dirty coop. There's that Dooster. Carly, Barbie, Jackie, Gracie, Barbie, Gracie, Tozy, Twinkle Tozy. Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Macho, are you dancing around out here? I'm free. Rosie. Rosie. Listen to how vocal he is. He's very vocal. Oh, get her. Oh, get her. He's feeling frisky, too, apparently. Good boy. Yeah, we need you to feel frisky because you're going to make us little babies. There we go. Breakfast of champions. I'll try to hold that while that's why I brought my spatula so I can get the last little bit here out of the bucket. They're getting their snacks, their breakfast. They usually eat maybe, they'll go through about 2 of these buckets a day, but the second bucket I don't bother doing all the herbs and seasonings and things. I just let them have their raw sprouts. But they get it for their breakfast. There. What do you think? And these guys have a lean-to as well for their dust. Oh, Macho says, I better get one. Their lean-to. This one's not tongue and groove. This is, but same deal. Sandbox with turds in it. Apparently I need to clean that a little bit. But go figure. Pooping in the bath. Pooping in the bath. I'm not real sure. I don't think these ones are giving me eggs at them. Well, I got one the other day that surprised me, but these hens are a little bit older, and so they're gonna wait until it warms up before they start giving me a lot of eggs. I did get one the other day. I can't say they're not giving me any. And then they've got their oyster shell. I don't do commercial feed anymore. It made me angry one too many times, so I have to supplement their oyster shell. Now, usually I can get a good deal on oyster shell, and I get a good deal on, like these all natural organic grains and things like that, and I just put in the added effort to sprout it, and you can see how much they love it. Rosie's kind of she's like waiting her turn. She thinks she's got to wait. Somebody, get out of there. You pooped in it. Hey, move so I can get that out of there. That's gross. Gross birds. They really don't care about germs, though. They really do not. They do not care about germs. They just don't. Neither do I, to be honest. I think that's one of the things that separates farmers and gardeners and such, homesteaders. We don't have that same fear of germs that everyone else has. Don't get me wrong, I do have to come out here and clean and hose it down with like a bleach water solution now and again to sand, I do have to do it some, but it's every couple of weeks at most, and in the summertime not at all. They put out like this PSA like, hey, bird flu is coming, you need to clean out your stuff with some regularity, and I'm like, yeah, okay, but I've noticed that's not really, it's genetic more than anything else. If they've got good strong genetics, they don't get bird flu. And if they've got good healthy food, they don't get bird flu. It's always whenever I buy a batch of birds from the hatchery or wherever, I got to break them in, and yeah, some of them get sick and some of them die. And there's really nothing I can do about it. Doesn't matter how much bleach water I clean with. It don't matter. They get sick and they die, and I think it's because they had bad genetics. But after the second or third winter has barreled through here and killed off all the weaker ones, well, I'm left with the stronger ones, and they don't get it. They don't get sick. And they do not care about germs. And I'm like, those are my tough ones. It's very simple. They take care of themselves. They're tough. They don't get sick. Those are the ones that survive, and that's nature doing what nature does, survival of the fittest. And what I get left with is a bunch of really cute, really tough birds and really good eggs and these adorable birds. These adorable. So it hurts at first because you're losing your birds when they get sick and they die, but after a while you realize it wasn't, it's like a bad breakup. It wasn't meant to be. So that's my morning. I'll have to come back and get water. I use the same bucket for water, but how was I going to carry two buckets when I'm doing a little vlog or whatever? That's going to get fired up soon. It's unheated. I don't heat it, but I use like double row covers and things. Maybe I'll get like some spinach and kale and snow peas or something like that to get started in there as it starts to warm up. February, March, maybe. I don't know. It depends. Depends on what I pick. Some things are more cold hardy. And then all of that back yonder, we're not to that yet. We're not to that yet. I got all my firewood pretty much chopped. My fruit trees, these ones are more or less caged. And then I got all of my saplings. I want to call them, yeah, saplings. But, some of them are fruit bushes, not fruit trees, or vines, like grapes, grapevines, but they're all in here. Cold stratifying, this is how they germinate. They have to go through winter first. Oh, yeah, see? And you have to cage it because Mr. Bunny Rabbit would love to have himself a snack, I think. Those are all going to be, not all of them, but fruit trees and fruit bushes. I've got some nut trees back there too, like hazelnut and hickory, but that's probably another video for another time.